Okay, so I don't usually make videos this often, like, because I'm recording this the day after I made and released the last one. But oh my god, this is fucking. I was worried I was running out of ideas, right? But then they dropped the fucking trailer for Detective Pikachu, right? Now, I'm not going to complain about the movie. I think the movie looks good, but there is one thing I remembered, right? I was worrying that I didn't have any more ideas. Then I remembered, years ago, when they announced that they were making this movie back in like 2016, I had an idea for the perfect Pokemon movie. But they didn't make it, and they should make it. They shouldn't make this, they should make my... Anyway, so, right, you see how, you know, realistic Pokemon, Detective Pikachu, all that shit? No, what we need is a gang movie for children based around Pokemon Go. Now, hear me out. I think it'll be set in like a small town in America, that sort of thing, right? And it's going to be based off the 3 teams. Because remember when Pokemon Go came out? And you had Team Mystic, there's Team Valor, and Team Instinct, right? And Team Mystic, they were all the regular wankers, alright? And Team Instinct, they were all those wankers that didn't want to get involved in anything. It was like, ah, no, we'll stay out, we don't like drama. There's fucking pricks, no one liked him. And Team Valor, the real motherfuckers, people like me were in that. Those loud, obnoxious pricks that would shout insults at Mystic people they saw on the street. I'm not lying, we went to fucking Central London once, me and my friends from Pokemon Go. Saw some girl on my phone and I thought, you know what? There's a 90% chance she's on Team Mystic and she's playing Pokemon Go. So what I did was, I didn't look directly at her. I turned away from her and shouted Mystic scum. And she turned around, looked at one of my other friends, gave him a dirty look, whatever. But you know what that means? That proves that all the... Mystic was, I don't know, Mystic was the biggest team. Stupid, no one likes him. Anyway. So, right, we have the Pokemon Go movie. It's gonna be about Team Mystic and Team Valor, and they're fighting for control over this small town that they live in, right? And they're fighting for superiority. And Instinct's going to be involved, but they're going to be taking a backseat just like they did in real life, right? And the way I see it is, Mystic's going to be full of all the regular people, right? But, and here's one thing, okay? Before I get into detail about Team Valor, you're going to think that Team Valor, the leader of Team Valor, is a massive self-insert of myself. That's because he is. Hollywood, if you make this movie, please, okay, just, you don't have to give me the role of Valor leader, but please just let me audition for it, okay? And I think this idea is really good. So another thing, if you want to make this movie, I'm not asking for much, just like 1% of the profits. 1%, that's it. That's all I need, 1%. I'm not asking for a lot, okay? I'm a reasonable man. Anyway, so yeah, the Mystic leader. It could be a woman or a guy. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck, because I don't fuck Mystic people, right? But the Valor leader, he's going to be mid to late 20s, I think. And I want him to be like this really like tribal and loud and aggressive person that takes everything way too seriously. Now, originally I thought maybe Native American headdress and all that shit, but we can't do that. That's too racist. We can't. So I'm thinking you make him a black guy. That way he can wear African tribal gear and it still works. And all the other people in Mystic are going to be wearing tribal gear. And not all the other people in Valor are going to be wearing tribal gear. So I think the Instinct leader, or maybe they're going to be like regular age, like teenagers, that sort of thing. But Valor, okay, it's going to be a lot of teenagers in that group, but he's going to be the oldest one, and he's taking everything too seriously, because he never grew up properly, right? And the Instinct people, who gives a fuck, no one gives a fuck about them. So I think, to make this movie work, they have to change a lot of the rules of Pokemon Go. You know how like Yu-Gi-Oh! Changed the rules of the game for the show. So I can't remember if Pokemon have like, I know they can lose in battle, but you don't like take them to a Pokemon center to heal them, right? I think we should add like a fainting thing. So once a Pokemon gets fainted, they can't do anything. And like, remember that film Bugsy Malone? How that was a gang movie for kids, right? Yeah, they got like shot with water guns, or like they took a pie gun to the face, that sort of thing, and that's how they died. Like that was their way of getting whacked. With this, it'll be like, you get all your Pokemon fainted, so you can't fight anymore, and then people go up and delete them, and that's their way of like fucking game ending, killing people and shit. It's like, holy shit, people are running around deleting your Pokemon. You got to be careful, man. All of your hours, everything's gonna be wiped out, and then all the people are dead. They're not actually dead, but they're just like sitting there. They're just like, fuck. Like, you ever play Persona 3 and you got those weird zombie looking people walking around at night? It's like that. They just sit there like this, fucking brain dead, nothing to do because their game's over. Fuck, I gotta think about this. I had so many ideas in the shower this morning. Fuck. Yeah, so you can have lots of different... You can play with the geography of the town to make everything interesting. Like, there can be a lake area where there's, you know, there'll be a ton of water Pokemon. I think another interesting thing would be at least one kid's house, and he has to be on, like, he has to be in either Team Instinct or Mystic. But his house has to be a Pokestop. So he's gonna be constantly refilling up on shit, and he's gonna be like a big power... No, I think maybe on Mystic he'll be. But he's going to be like a big important person on that team, because he's constantly getting refilled of supplies and shit. And the Valor people, because they're taking everything too seriously and they're being all tribal and crazy and shit, they're going to do some fucking... and they're gonna do something to kick the guy out the house. They're gonna like stink bomb or whatever, make them leave the house, and then they're gonna like send some kids in to start squatting or whatever, and then there's gonna be kids lying to their parents about where they're going, saying they're going on a sleepover or school trip, and they're actually gonna be like staking out this house. And then whenever people walk past, there's just gonna be like these fucking, imagine these kids, and they got like their shirts off and everything, they got like these weird sticks, and they're just standing there looking at you, like, hey, fuck off, you know, they start fucking barking at people and shit. Barking at people, and all the Mr. people are like, oh, fucking Valor nuts are crazy. And they're going to be getting really violent, and the Valor leader, because he's like getting too serious into it and everything, he's going to start commanding all of the kids and stuff he's got to attack Mystic people on site in schools and everything. But he's going to make them do it like it's an accident or something. So there's going to be like a whole slew of people getting injured by accidentally and shit, or like by elaborate contraptions. And people are going to be like, wow, I wonder how this is all happening. And then they're just like, well, we can't, it's just an accident, you know, we have to write it off. But all the Mystic people are going to be like, no, it has to be a Valor. This is a Valor trap, you know. This is the only sort of thing they do. They're fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy, right? Oh yeah, and then you can play with a lot of like stereotypes and shit in the thing. So like there'll be a whole bunch of goth kids, right? I don't think there's type advantages in Pokemon Go. I can't remember. I haven't played it in 2 years because the game's shit. So you could have like there's a bunch of goth kids that use fucking the ghost Pokemon, bunch of athletic kids use fighting type Pokemon, and all the teams are gonna be trying to go around and recruit them, you know, by schmoozing them a little whatever, and then they can be like fucking hit squads. And so that you got these goth kids running around at night with ghost Pokemon, and what a ghost be psychic. So they're gonna be going after all the fucking these spiritual hippie wankers and fucking the hippie wankers, because if the hippie wankers are going to be in any team, it's going to be those peaceful mystic fucks and fucking blue collar shit wanks. Anyway, so fucking swearing too much. So then the goth kids and the ghost kids are going to be working for fucking Valor, like real men, going around at night attacking them, deleting everything off their phone, wiping their accounts, maybe even breaking their phones. But that's going to be too far. That's going to be like, I think breaking phones is going to be like. So the whole time, right, Valor and Mystic are trying to get Instinct to join up with them, you know, so that they can make an alliance, that sort of thing. But they're not going to do it. And then eventually someone on Valor is going to break someone else's phone. And that's going to be that thing that goes too far. Like, you know when you're watching a movie and then that one character dies and it makes the pacifist character wake up and say, nah, that's it, I'm getting into this, you can't do this anymore, we got to stop. It's going to be that. It's so fucking good. Another aspect I think could work well, I think, like, so remember I said like breaking a phone could be the turning point that makes some of the people that weren't like were asleep, that were being brainwashed by him or being pacifist, to wake up and realize they have to take him out. I think there could be an old man character on one of the teams, and he just really enjoys, you know, getting out there and being active, walking around. He thinks the little Pokemon are cute and everything. He interacts with some of the kids, they all know him, this old nice man. I think they could have him die at one point, not from murder. Something's got to happen though, like maybe like a shock or something that the Valor leader does, like he's gonna like, I don't know, jump out of him and try and intimidate him or something. Something bad happens when he goes to the hospital, and that's what wakes people up. That could be something cool. Anyway, and then I think the way it ends is everyone realizes that the Valor leader has gone too far, and so they all make a plan to like, people on his own team, like they start betraying him. Just like, nah, we can't do this. This like they start to wake up like realistically. What's this 27-year-old man doing, instructing us to hurt other people? What have we been doing? We're crazy. So they all have to devise a plan to go after him, right? And you know, take his fucking game end all his fucking his Pokemon, faint them, delete them, all that type of shit. But here's the thing, right? So I think I think the game, like the movie, takes place over the course of like a year or something, right? Something like that. And he's going to be fairly like overweight, out of shape at first, but then towards the end he's going to progress and get more muscular. So they think like towards the end they're going to be like, yeah, I think we could rush him and hold him down, you know, a bunch of us kids. I mean, you see him, he's fat and stuff like that. And he's going to be like this. And another thing, he'll be like a shadowy type of person, like loud, of course, like loud and everything, like this like tribal guy towards the end. But he's going to be like shadow and really like fucking sneaking up on people, taking their phones, attacking. It's like that. End of the day, I'm not that smart. I'm not that good at making. I'm not a movie maker. I'm not a movie man. It's just a solid. I think there's a solid idea here, and we get it off to those people in Hollywood. Like, somebody can make something great out of this. I 100% believe there is a great story here. Like, and I might not get everything forward ahead in this video, but if you just think about what I'm saying here, there is actually a good movie, right? So then at the end, is all these, they could be like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, that sort of thing, you know, a bit older, like there's going to be some wedge kids in there. They try and take him out, but then he fucking, like, knocks them back. and he's got his like phone attached to a pole or something. Nah, he wouldn't do that. Still, he's got like a fucking spear that he's made out of himself because he's gone fucking feral. And he's like living out in the woods trying to capture all the Pokemon in the area, dominating all the areas, shit like that. And people are just like, how is he living out there for so long? And then they're going to be like, oh yeah, his mum's got him this unlimited data plan. And also, he's going to have like these kids meeting with him and rendezvousing with him. And they're going to be like filling up these rechargeable battery packs, right? And they're going to be passing them to him like on a regular route, like a paper route or something. But he's going to be secretive, changes his location all the time, so no one can ever fucking find him. That sort of thing. This movie's going to be this movie will be so fucking good. So fucking good. Yeah, so when the kids try to rush him at the end, trying to take his phone and everything, all of a sudden he's fucking strong. And he like smacks a bunch of 16-year-olds, just like, get the fuck off me. You'll never take me alive. And then he starts like copying Pokemon moves and everything, and he starts shouting them out. And he's just like, I've been studying their moves for so long. And then kids come at him, and then he's all like fucking Thunder Punch. And he's got a fucking electric glove or something, and he fucking punches a 6-year-old in the face. 6-year-old's die. He's just getting fucking shot. He's going down. He fucking, you know, there's a kicking move. Fucking low kick. He fucking sweeps a fucking 10-year-old. 10-year-old's going down. What? And they all try to go after him, trying to fight him and everything. And while they're doing that, right? They've got other kids going around and removing his influence from the area because they know where he is. They've got him. This is the end. They go and they take him back the gyms and everything. And he's just like, no, my gyms. And he starts freaking out and panicking. And they got to do some real fucking shit. Then eventually, one kid throws a rock. Like with the instinct leader, the one that's not been doing that. There's the one that's not been doing anything right. We'll make him some sort of sports wanker. And he gets a rock or like a tennis ball or something. Throws it, bounces the phone out of his hand. And then they're just like, no. And then instead of just like they try to delete all the shit, but it doesn't work. So they have to fucking smash it and break his phone. And then he starts screaming and freaking out. And he doesn't know what to do. And while he's screaming and freaking out, they fucking knock him out. They tie him up or something. Call the police. Tell them that this weird fucking 27-year-old man's been like messing around, telling all the kids to hurt each other. The big criminal gang leader, that sort of thing. Take him out. He goes to prison. Another thing. Okay, so I put some more thought into it. Took a little break between filming. So I know more of how I want the final battle to go and how they take out, you know, the big bad, the Valor leader, right? So of course at the beginning he's going to be fairly, everyone knows him around the town. Everyone's seen him. He's that guy. But then he starts to, he's not that popular. He's never really accomplished that much in his life. But then he starts to become more popular as it goes on, you know, because people follow his ideals. And he finally feels like he's worth something. And that's when he starts to change. That's when his true personality comes out. And that's when he starts becoming like this militant, crazy leader. Right, and like I think I said before, I don't know what's going to make the final cut in this, but he's going to start living in the woods. He's going to become more feral as it goes on, going around capturing all the Pokemon, training his Pokemon constantly. Because another thing, like I said, Pokemon in this town, it's going to be mostly children playing the game. You know, younger people. They're going to be in school. They can't be playing constantly. So because he's constantly playing day and night with a really bad sleep schedule, his Pokemon are going to be absolute beasts. And people are going to be like, what the fuck, how's he doing this? Because he's going to be going all over the town, taking every single gym. And he's going to have these impossible boss monsters. And I think some of the Team Instinct people or some people that just aren't really into the game, there's going to be like one smart kid, right? And they're going to ask him, just like, hey, could you hack into his phone or something, do something, give him a virus that's going to like fuck up his shit so we can take him down. Because realistically, he's ruining the game for everyone. He's being really violent, he's doing all this shit. And that's when they're going to say no until, you know, someone crosses the line, either with that old man dying or with him starting to break people's phones. Then I think for the final battle, there's gonna be kids running to all the different gyms they have in the town, and there's gonna be like 5 of them, and they're gonna be constantly trying to slay the big boss monsters he's got there. And when I say boss monsters, I don't necessarily mean these big fucking Tyranitar type of shit. They'll be like a fucking Squirtle or Pidgey, but it's at like fucking 10,000 CP, whatever, and no one else can do anything to stop them. And they're constantly doing it. So then they get the hacker guy, right? I know this is cringy to have the whole hacking thing, but I don't give a fuck. It's going to work. Kids movie. So he's going to go and find the way to either weaken the Pokemon or just fuck up some shit for him, make him a bit more vulnerable. So that's going to go. And during the fight, he's going to, when they're trying to physically take him down, he's going to start getting a bit more like erratic and desperate because he checks the map during and he sees his gym going down. And that's when, you know, some of the slightly older kids that are playing normally, like maybe the more athletic kids, whatever, that's when they're going to start trying to wrestle him and take him down. And he's fighting him. And his whole big thing going on, whatever. And then there's all the Pokemon battles going on. Shit like that. What else is there? Yeah, then we get a little glimpse into his mind to make us sympathize with him a bit more. And he's going to be doing a little monologue during the fight where he's just like, my whole life, I never accomplished anything. I was never good at anything. And this is the one thing I've done. People follow me now. I have worth. It's that sort of thing. You know, goes on a bit of a sob story. Either he says it out loud or he's thinking it. And so it makes you emotionally invested in it. Right. Because this is the sort of person people like, obviously, because they're following him. He's just gone too far, you know? He's had a fucking shit life, depressed and everything. This is the one time everything's going well for him. So, of course, you see that he has to be taken out. But he's this fucking sympathetic character. He's a sad character. Everything's bad. There's no right or wrong. There is a right and wrong. You shouldn't be breaking people's phones and injuring children. But, you know. Yeah, I think everything else after that, I think everything else around that will go pretty much the same. Somebody gets a cheap shot in lucky shot, knocks the phone out of his hand. Like, maybe when he starts to realize everything is built up, is crumbling. When he starts to become lucid again and starts being so crazy, realizes everything is done, then they take him to prison or whatever. That sort of thing. Or like house arrest, I don't know. I think there's something there. Genuinely something here. So hey, yeah, I know the video ended a tad abruptly. Not even a tad abruptly, very abruptly. For the 2, maybe even 3 of you still watching this, it would be grateful if you would subscribe, like the video, share it around, and send it to movie executives. Now, if you know anyone, if your dad works at Legendary Pictures or the Pokemon Company, or you know a guy whose dad works there, send this to him. We gotta get this movie made. If you manage to watch this fucking train wreck all the way to the end, then you clearly want this movie to be made at least half as much as me, and that means a lot. That's still a lot. So, you know, yeah, send it around, send it to them, make this thing real. I want 1% of the profits, because if that video makes $1 billion, that's $1 million for me, and I can go and buy a sex robot. Peace out.